Midwest, home sweet home in good old Indiana. Place of small towns, cozy families gathered together, and fields of corn and rustic woods. But, like any town, there is a dark underbelly that often goes unnoted. We are part of that darkness. We lurk in the shadows to bring you the best in horror, metal, and stories of the grotesque. This is Blood in the Cornfields.
All right, welcome in, cellar dwellers. As always, I am Mark.
I'm Ivy.
And we are Blood in the Cornfields. Hope everyone's doing good out there. Before we kind of get into it too much, I was going to let you know that, again, our Etsy is up for creeperware.
Yes.
I'm going to be adding more stuff. It just got pushed to the wayside. But the whole point of me bringing it up is if any of you would like to order shirts, it is creeperware on Etsy. I think we'll have Luke put up the link or whatever. I'm working on putting more shirts. I'm going to take it a little bit more serious because I don't know. I just, I don't have time to maintain that shit. So it's, it's out there. So, let us know if you like that and, give me feedback. I got some feedback from Mikey, so I'm going to be making a little modification of one of the shirts. So, I'm totally down for input and all that. So, visit it, Creeperware, Etsy. You can order shirts.
Yeah, I'm glad that you got that up because I had people ask, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it has a point where you have to renew it, and then you have to re-enter your security information for payment and everything like that. So, gotcha. I'm going to add a couple more shirts. I've thought it's just some basic stuff, some cool quotes and different things like that. So, trying to keep it horror related.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Absolutely. So, what do you got? What's up in your current events?
Well, there's quite a bit, and let's kind of go through it.
Yeah.
First off, Toxic Avenger released a new teaser trailer that was hilarious. First off,
it looks so good. I'm so excited to see this because it's the first time we've actually got anything that was concrete, everything else was just little
sneak peeks, little hints of stuff.
And it's still not very big.
Right. It's definitely interesting. It's a monster core band, kind of reminds me of what do you call it?
ICP is what it reminded me of.
ICP, yeah. That's what I was thinking of. That kind of ICP. It's called Killer Nuts.
Killer Nuts.
It's so good.
Great. That's so great.
And just watch the trailer. It looks good. We're counting down now.
Oh.
It's around the corner.
That
August
is
29th.
I know there's been some titles where we're we have to do the theater thing. And guys, life is
hard.
Oh my gosh. And then to go out to the theaters, it doesn't happen all the time. But we have to do a theater. At least one of us has to do a theater for this.
We have to do a whole thing. It's got to be a big deal. We gotta go out and we gotta have Earl with us.
Yeah, we do. And there's lots going behind the scenes. There's always people dying that you need to tend to. Yeah. There's your little one.
It never stops.
Yeah. Me, I'm always busy. I'm always got 3 feet in something. I'm, we're trying to do a franchise in review that I'm not going to spoil.
Yeah.
So we're watching a whole entire franchise. I've started. I don't think you have per se, but we have that on the back burner. And then I'm researching true crime, and then I'm reaching out to other people and stuff. So we got visitors. It's okay. No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry. You're good. Back down to start.
You're okay.
I'm sorry, sweetie.
It's no big deal. So where was that? We just have a lot of stokes in the fire, and that's going to kind of come out for this episode a little bit too, but constantly got things going on, so it is busy, but we will try to do the theatrical release for this one.
My god, I'm so excited. August 20th.
Your calendar.
August 29th. Well, shit, I don't
look at that month. There's 1, 2. There's only 2 days that don't have writing in it.
That was a crazy month, man.
There is literally only 2 days that do not have writing in it.
April was worse.
Was it? Because I see more days that don't have writing, but still, that doesn't mean it's not crazy.
That was nuts. So, Prom Queen Fear Street is coming out, as of this recording, tomorrow. And
Okay.
I'm so excited. So if you don't know about the Fear Street franchise,
I don't really.
So let's back up. Let's do a little history.
Take me there.
in the 80s, or no, I guess this was more maybe late 90s. I don't know when exactly he did this. It looks more 80s, and I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me.
Was it like done in the 80s or made now but made to look like in the 80s?
So that's what I'm not sure about. It's a book series.
Oh, okay.
It's by the guy that does Goosebumps.
So R.L. Stine?
R.L. Stine,
Yeah.
Yep. And he did like a series that were for teenagers. So they were more mature, they were a little bit scarier, and they were called like Fear Street.
Yeah.
And Fear Street has a whole lore about it. And Netflix picked up a series about Fear Street that had to do with, like, in the first one, it was about witches and a curse and all this other stuff. And it was really cool. Like, it took you through 3 different decades.
Oh, okay.
And it was really neat. So this one is Prom Queen, and it looks like it takes place in the 80s. I could be wrong. But yeah, it looks really good. I just take a look at some of the posters they parody for this thing. Because Bloody Disgusting
does everything. Yeah. They do everything.
They really do.
Oh, while there's a dead moment, subscribe and like us because that helps us reach more people. And we're doing better. I know we never say like and subscribe because it's so
we are doing really good. And I think it's mostly because of Jessa, and we really appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jessa.
Yeah, we jumped up subscribers and views a lot. But so I was looking and like on YouTube, because again, that's the only thing I can actually see numbers live for. Jessa was at like 212, but Cellar Dweller was at like 150-ish.
Ooh.
Which was nice. And then our metal episode that dropped was at like, I want to say at like almost 100 views.
Oh,
like 93.
That's cool. That's cool.
You know, that's our whole point, is to build this up. And also too, I know you have a quick second, but if any of you have a local business or anything, I know I didn't ask you, but I know because you won't care.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. So any local businesses, please let us know if you have an ad you want us to run, or you want us to kind of do one with you. We would love to run it. We're not going to charge or anything like that. We would like to just, drum up business for local. So if you're a photographer, you have a business, you a restaurant, anything like that, just let us know and we will run an ad for you.
Absolutely. I mean, it's cool. Like, we want to support, as many local people as possible, especially artists, especially people that are making this world run.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, back to
your posters.
Fear Street. Yeah. So it's really cool. They did one that was obviously paying homage to Carrie. They did another one that was like Nightmare on Elm Street, the original prom night from like the 80s. They also did like a Michael Myers inspired one with the disco ball. That's pretty fucking cool.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I wish.
I thought that looked like Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Nightmare on Elm Street, and then of course this is like the original book.
Yeah,
the Prom Queen. So
shit.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I'm excited.
Those look good.
I think that looks cool. I like the little bit of throwback to them. But May 23rd is when it comes out on Netflix, so I'm pretty excited.
That's like. Yeah.
Yeah. The original Fear Street series that released on Netflix took you through like different periods of time. So the first one took place in the 90s. Then it took you back to the, I think, 70s. And then it took you back even further to like during the Salem witch trials.
Okay.
But they all had something to do with each other.
Okay.
So it was like an anthology kind of thing, but like each thing was connected.
Yeah, absolutely. That's interesting. So
it's interesting to see if Prom Queen is going to be similar to this, if it's obviously taking place in the same town as the original one did, but like, is there going to be that lore that they had already established in the other three trilogy movies? So that will be exciting. We also have coming to HBO, Welcome to Derry.
Yes, I've been seeing a lot of shit about that.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I like that it's finally not 80s themed or 90s.
And so I don't know for sure, but is Bill Skarsgård?
Yes, okay. Bill Skarsgård is set to come back.
Okay, I thought so, but you can never trust anything on the internet, so...
I know, I mean, this man, he's done so much shit. He was in The Crow, sure.
Yeah, and then he had another action movie right after that looked terrible.
He did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
man.
remember what it was.
All I could think of was Humus Count Orlach.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jump on it.
Ugh,
Crazy style.
that movie.
I fucking love it.
Oh.
But yeah, so Welcome to Derry takes place in 1962, which is refreshing.
Oh.
Good, something different.
Yeah, that is.
But apparently, it's also been said that that if this season does really good and it gets 2 more seasons, season 2 is going to take place in 1935, and the 3rd season is going to take place in 1908 because it only comes around every 21 years or something.
Didn't realize that.
You didn't know that?
No,
They established that.
It's not my thing, really. It's really not.
Yeah, what? Okay. So, speaking on that, what was it that you had initially said about it? You've mentioned that, Killer... Oh, is that it? Is that the Slayer shirt?
No, that's Killer Clowns.
That's Killer Clowns.
Killer Clowns is the Slayer
Killer
shirt.
Clowns.
Yes.
And it is Metallica. Is that what you said?
I don't remember if I said it would be Metallica. I mean, there's several that would kind of consider to be Metallica. Now, let's say it is the Iron Maiden shirt.
Why would you put it as that?
Because it is a little bit more popular.
It is, I guess.
It is a little bit more popular.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just,
with the kids, the teens.
Yeah, well, I hate that you go into, I have such a love-hate relationship with Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much Michael Myers, Freddy.
Yeah, Jason.
Jason,
Scream.
Killer Clowns and Scream that I can take. And it's all right, how much merch of those franchises is out there?
Oh, so you got Terrifier now.
Can we get a Castle Freak mask, please?
All right, that'd be badass.
Yeah, with a detachable tit.
Ooh, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Something with taste. Something with pizzazz,
Yeah. I need to get me a cellar dweller ghoulie. What'd you call it?
Oh, Ginger Dead Ghoulie. The Ginger Dead
outfit.
Ghoulie, yeah.
For my next Halloween party. Get on that, Spirit Halloween.
Yes. Spirit Halloween. Come on. Give me something.
And then lastly, just to piss you off.
All right, cool.
Don Mancini.
Oh,
of Cellar Dweller, of Chucky.
This can't be real.
Pitches an idea for Chucky versus Freddy crossover.
This can't be real. I don't want this done for so many reasons because it's how... I have a hard enough time taking Chucky serious, but the way that they do it, he scrambles across the floor and then I get it that he can, act like he's a doll.
Yeah.
And then that's his kind of way to get over on you. Yeah. Or he can hide in small spaces. But Freddy already knows he's a doll, so he's not going to fake him out. The movie's going to be Freddy goes, "Oh, hey," and kicks him into the furnace. And then the movie's over. So, hey, Chucky, kicks him in the furnace, and then it's over.
But could you imagine the conversation that these two villains are going to have with each other? Because one's always going to try to get the last word in.
They're just going to, there's one-liners, they're just going to talk each other to death?
Yeah.
That's the whole movie?
That's the whole movie.
And then Tiffany comes in for a cameo?
Yeah. No, she better be in that movie.
Or Freddy takes Glenn hostage.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. I kind of like that. You need to pitch this to Don Mancini. You're apparently going to write the better movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, yeah. I don't know. I just... You can't do that. Not Chucky. I get Freddy. I get Jason. They're both formidable. Mm-hmm. But Chucky, come on.
Well, and I think I told you this before, but literally in the comics, we have several series of comics where it's Freddy versus Jason, but also versus Ash.
Oh, yeah, you said that. You said that.
That's a whole thing. It was a good series. It came together well because it made sense.
Yeah.
The whole crossover between, Freddy's glove, taking Jason. We all know that. But, Ash being thrown in the mix because he's got an Necronomicon and all this other stuff. So, makes sense. You got two undead characters
Ah.
You know.
Gotcha.
Where Chucky fits into that, I don't know.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. So before we kind of get into it, I had forgot, but I have some current event stuff. Cool. So I'm going to bring it up real quick. So Kevin Bacon starred in the horror comedy series The Bondsman, which I thought it was good. I didn't think it was stellar. I thought it was good, but The Bondsman's been canceled after one season.
Whoa.
And Kevin Bacon got on social media and expressed, gratitude to the fans, said he was disappointed because Kevin Bacon actually sings in it because he has a band and everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
Sings in it, and the actors do too. It's a good show. Like, I would have liked to seen where season 2 could go. But that was canceled. So, really disappointed with that. Another thing, too, out there, if any of you are looking for a movie to kind of watch, it's actually a series. So I've just started the first one. It's called The Butchers. It was in 2020, and then there's a second one called Butchers Book 2, and then Butchers Book 3. It's kind of an inbready in the woods.
Oh, it's your favorite.
Wrong turny. Yes, it's my favorite shit.
Hillbilly assholes in the woods that are going to go on a killing spree.
I eat that shit up. And it's pretty good. It deals with abduction, cannibalism, has a dog man in it.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It's pretty, I was impressed because I hadn't heard of it. So
cool.
I'm going to be doing 2 and 3, but any of you out there that want to pick up a new.
Is it on Shudder?
So
did you say where
I think I watched it on Amazon.
Okay.
I think they're all available on Amazon. And then next, I wanted to give another shout out to Karma.
Oh yeah.
Went there and got the Motel Hell pop figure, Vincent.
That's so fucking badass. The fact that, first off, okay, pop figures, I've heard.
I have a love and hate relationship with them.
I have a funny analogy that I heard from someone. These are our version of Precious Moment figures.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have them in a glass display case.
So but this is so niche. They're known for doing all these other stupid things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, why are you even who's in the market to buy this particular character or whatever? But this, that's badass.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I go for. So I have Carol Ann from Poltergeist. Mm-hmm. I have the Tall Man. I have Vincent Smith from Motel Hell. I have John Waters.
That's so cool. I'm so jealous of that one.
Yeah, that one was badass. And then I have there's the multiple Leatherfaces, which Leatherface could come out of the fucking napkin and I would buy it. So, but anyway, the Motel Hell pop, it's badass. It's Vincent Smith with the pig head on with his chainsaw. Mm-hmm. Fucking so cool, Farmer Vincent. And then I finally, Karma, if you're listening, I'm sorry, finally picked up the album, the soundtrack, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
That looks so good, too. I like the little eyeball in the center. That's
the booklet is so cool, behind the scenes stuff. I was thinking of not opening it, but I'm like, no, I can't not open it because it's a record.
Right.
And records unsealed, they don't really hold their value like some other things do. And then I wanted to see what was inside. So glad that I did. I was totally excited about that. So
is it just a soundtrack then?
It is just a soundtrack. Yep.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, shout out to Karma. And the reason why I'm shouting them out is they held it for 2 months for me.
Oh my God.
So I told them, hey, when this comes in, if you have one, put one for me and let me know. Well, they reached out to me and I had forgot. And even when I went into the store, I totally forgot. I had the Shocker shirt that I've balked on.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm convinced I'm losing weight. I'm already down 10 pounds.
Yeah, congrats.
So I'm I'm going to be back to XL. No more 2XLs. Mm-hmm. And Shockers in XL. So I bring it up there. I have Farmer Vincent and some incense. Mm-hmm. They have the best incense are the Gonish brand, but it's all the spooky ones.
Oh, cool.
They smell the best.
I didn't know they had spooky ones.
Oh, yeah. Cool. And even all the staff at Karma's always those are the best ones. They smell the best.
Uh-huh.
So I brought it up to the counter and was getting ready to pay for it. And then he's like, hey, are you doing these too? And I'm like, oh, I totally forgot. I'm like, all right, put the shirt back. I was like, I'll see if it's here next time. I'll get it. And then I bought, the album instead.
That's cool.
I was just like, yeah, that I had to do that. So, and also in other news, so I saw this on Jessa Jupiter Flux.
Yes.
Is what she's going by now. I saw this on her page. She was sharing it. It's Dead Formats VHS Convention. It's going to be Saturday, August 30th in Indianapolis. So
Cool.
Looks like a tape swap, but like maybe bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I briefly went to their Instagram page to see what I could find out, and it looks like a big tape swap.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be pretty interesting. I might go to that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Sorry guys, I'm like dealing with congestion and stuff like that, so I clear my throat quite a bit. Sorry about that, everyone. So wanted to get into metal news because we had the metal episode. There's some bands that I really like that all have new albums coming out like within 2 weeks of each other.
Oh shit.
So the first one is a band that I've talked about before, Rivers of Nile. So their new album is coming out on May 30th. They're the band that they had a lead singer. They've always been hard to label because they're insanely artistic and they're goofy, but they're super talented. And their lead singer, who I actually read was either fully deaf or partially deaf.
Oh.
Their original lead singer. Well,
Yeah.
he's left the band. And that's the band where the bassist, I think his name's Adam, is just like, hey, I'm going to pick it up and like start doing vocals. And he's fucking great.
That's awesome.
And they have a saxophone.
Oh, sexy sax.
They have saxophone and they do like melodic vocals, but then they have like death metal-y parts.
That's cool.
That's why I say it's artistic. They're definitely an acquired taste, but I love them. I'm excited for this new album to come out. So Rivers of Nile, May 30th. Also Fallujah, a band that I think is really underrated. I always expected them to take off more. I think I talked about them when I was with Black Tornado last. And, but yeah, I think they're really underrated. Again, they're kind of artsy too, in a different way than Rivers of Nile, but they have good musicianship. So their guitarists are fucking phenomenal. Their bass player, Evan Brewer, I've liked him since he was in the Faceless. He's a phenomenal bass player. Just an underrated band that I don't think gets enough recognition, but their new album is coming out June 13th. So Fallujah, check that one out. The Haunted. I've liked The Haunted for forever. I've seen The Haunted with At the Gates and Decapitation. It was like my favorite fucking show that I've been to. I fucking love The Haunted. These guys are like 55. They're old and they put out fucking metal. It's like not death metal. It's like it's thrashy kind of metal, but it's not like dirty punkish thrash. I don't know. It's hard to describe. But anyway, they have I know it's the drummer and I believe 1 to 2 guitarists from At the Gates left that band and played The Haunted.
Ooh.
And I think they still tour to this day sometimes when At the Gates goes back out because they're old too. But when I saw them, like The Haunted played first and then it was Decapitation and then the 2 guitar players and drummer came out and then the new bass player and it was At the Gates. So like they tour together and then those guys do double duty. So they'll play both sets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, the guitar players from The Haunted go and play for At the Gates.
Okay,
and the drummer for The Haunted goes and plays for At the Gates.
That's cool.
So love The Haunted. It's just the fact that they're 55 is fucking rad. Like go check them out and just think like this is 55-year-old dudes playing. I hope that's the shit I do. And last,
let that be an inspiration to you all.
Absolutely. And then also Cryptopsy. They're putting out a new album on the 25th, and their newest single, I forget what it is. I don't even think I can pronounce the song anyway. But anyway, their newest single came out, and it's really good. It's Cryptopsy, but they have a part at like minute 2 where it's just a smorgasbord of pinch harmonics that the like pinches.
Oh, yeah,
pinch harmonics. They just throw them in there, and they're just like, there's none that I can recall other than outside of this like 30-second part where they just throw them out like candy.
Whoa.
It's crazy. And they're, the tone on them is perfect. It makes me think of Old Embodiment. For any of you who know the Purple album, just the tone in it is pretty badass. So Cryptopsy new album coming out. So those are 4 albums that I am really going to be listening to that are going to be coming out in like the next 3 weeks.
Damn, okay.
So that's pretty badass. To give a little background, because I know I wanted to kind of speak of it too, because so like I'd mentioned, we're insanely busy. We're trying to do events. We're doing events. We're doing research. You have people dying all the time. You have your child, and you were sick. You were literally in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be weird, but you sent me a picture. Were you reading a book?
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, ma'am, are you in the hospital?
Yeah.
But I was like, no, she's not in the hospital. And I never looked at the picture again. I just thought, like, is she in the hospital?
Yeah, because it's like a gown.
Yeah, my ADD, like, took me away, and I never thought of it again until you messaged me that you were in the hospital. I was like, oh, shit. So this week didn't go as planned.
Nope.
So we are going to be doing something different. I was going to say, you can kind of, if you have a different side of it, you can explain too, but like, I think I covered it.
I think you covered it. Basically, we typically do like watch parties.
Yeah,
like, we watch them and then we'll review them. You guys know the drill. This time we're doing something a little different. We're deciding one of us watches it and then the other one reacts to it.
Which having me be the one to watch it is terrible because I'm not structured at reviewing movies.
But you get to describe it to me, and I'll eventually watch it. God knows when. I do want to watch it.
I will start with you should watch this.
Yeah,
one.
okay.
You should watch this.
And
one.
it'd probably be something that I'd really enjoy because I do like body horror. I'm a body horror whore.
This is a
That could be.
That's a shirt. That's a shirt. Okay.
Slap that baby on.
That's a shirt. So here's all right, I'm gonna reveal to you. So I had whore for the gore.
Yeah.
And slasher slut. Those were gonna be my two. But then now what did you just say?
Body horror whore.
Body horror whore. So body HORR.
Right.
O-R-R. Sorry, I can't even spell and talk. And then the WHOR.
Yep.
Okay, yes.
Body horror.
my inbred ass, whenever I say horror, it's either or. It's adaptable whether I mean sluts or scary movies.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
We need to hire a really cool artist for this because here's what I'm envisioning. You heard it here, folks. I'm envisioning body horror, but like the body horror part is actually like nasty letters in body horror. Like it's skin, it's shit, it's like, you know what I mean? It's melty, it's gross. And then horror is in really pretty lettering.
Yes. Okay, so if we have any artists out there, but look, we're not in to make money. We're not getting rich. Not. So if you would please just do it for free.
I will 100% buy one of these fucking shirts and I will buy your art. So
yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, anyone out there that wants to draw, like we need to do that. Like hit us up. We'll go in on a shirt. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be completely free, but there's not a lot of margin. Like I can throw like $1 a shirt or something.
After this hospital shit visit.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much I'm going to be able to do either. So
stuff's weird. Another thing weird, Pete starts going under the bed now.
Oh, he's a little bed.
But you know why he goes under the bed?
Bunny, what?
Apparently, when you open up croissant rolls, not even the pop.
Oh, he freaks out?
Yeah, and he goes under the bed. But then he's old. He's not old, but he's old enough that he can't like really get out from underneath the bed.
Oh, no.
So I have to like lure him out with treats. It's so ridiculous. So my house, because I don't have containers that are the containers I have are too big by like 1/4 of an inch. So I have to like jam stuffies under there so he doesn't get under the bed. A little shit stick. Fucking Pete. So yes, if you ever wonder what I'm doing, I'm always laying in bed, scratching my Peter.
I was waiting for that.
That's what I like to do.
Scratching my Peter.
Scratching my Peter in bed.
So what movie are we reviewing?
So we are talking about gushing over Ugly Stepsister.
Yeah.
Whether it's or is it just Ugly Stepsister?
I think it's the
Ugly Stepsister.
Yeah.
Yes. seeing so much about this.
Oh my
God. So many people talking about it.
It's all over the place right now. And of course it's available on Shudder now. So even before it was available on Shudder, people were like just hyping the fuck out of this movie.
Theaters. Like I would have seen this in theater. But yeah, so I watched it. You did not.
I did not. However, I'm going to give you guys some like a back story.
Yeah, because I know nothing about what you're going to speak on.
Yeah, so basically, this film was made by a Norwegian filmmaker. I feel bad because I did do some research on this particular filmmaker. I cannot tell if this person is a he, him, or a she, her, or a they, them. And I want to respect pronouns, but I have no idea because, one, the Norwegian Wikipedia uses female pronouns, whereas the IMDb, the American IMDb, calls this person a he, him. So I'm like, I have no idea. So I am going to use they, them for this review. I have no idea if this is Emily or Emil Blickfeldt. Norwegian name.
Those are my people, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I am Norwegian.
You're a Viking?
Yes, mostly Norwegian, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, my mom actually, she's not doing the best health-wise, but a year ago, she actually wanted me to fly to Norway and see some of our relatives for the first time.
Oh, my God, that's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, those are my people.
That's cool.
Those are my people.
But, like, yeah, so that's where this filmmaker comes from. They've done, I guess, 2 other, like, short films. It's called How Do You Like My Hair? And another one is called, How Do You Like My Hair?
Okay. All right.
From 2013, another one called Ben She Kib and Fox. Ben She. From 2015.
Okay.
Sorry, I did my best.
Those are my people, but I don't speak the language.
Yep, I don't know either. So those were the 2 that she did. And honestly, these 2 films kind of set in motion. Like you see, like we've done so many reviews where, so for example, like Street Trash was originally a short film. Yeah. And then it got turned into this.
Adapted into something full length.
And then also like, Smile. Smile was originally a short film and then got adapted into a franchise.
Oh, I mean, it was called It Follows?
Yeah, you're funny. So we see this a lot, and this is no different for this particular director. In those other 2 films, it's basically about women going through, like, the kind of beauty standards that are put up against them, that sort of thing. Are they pretty? Are they ugly? Kind of situation. So basically The Substance is what it's reminding me of.
And this movie that we're going to be talking about. And very much that. That
makes sense. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of people draw comparisons from this movie to The Substance. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited. Apparently this movie also is the winner of the Boston Underground Film Festival in 2025. So that's the only win that it currently has under its belt. But that's pretty impressive regardless.
Yeah.
Because it seems very underground. Like, literally, I have no other information to go off of this trivia-wise.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah, and it just kind of took off. Mm-hmm. Like, this movie just took off. And I hope it continues to do so.
Yeah. I think the first thing I ever saw about it on Instagram was there's a lobotomy scene in this. Or I don't know. It looks like lobotomy. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on.
It's not a lobotomy.
Oh, it's not.
It's not a lobotomy.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's go into this. Well, there will be spoilers.
Oh,
so
absolutely. I can't not spoil it.
Get your ass out there and go watch.
Yeah, watch it and then come back. So, if you started this episode, we're going to spoil the shit out of it like we always do. Mm-hmm. So stop, go back, watch it, and then come back at this point.
But if you're like me, where like you might not have the time and you are interested, and this is just going to make you even more interested to see it unfold with your eyes, then by all means, continue to listen.
Absolutely. So with me, I have some notes down here. So
question for you.
Sure.
This is obviously called The Ugly Stepsister because it's based off of the grim fairy tale Cinderella. What do you know about Cinderella?
So what I know about Cinderella, apparently there's not a big giant singular rat like I thought there was. But I thought a rat was like the taxi driver of the pumpkin.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. But it's multiple rats?
Because there's multiple mice that turn into like the horses.
Okay.
That turn into the horse, the coachmen and stuff like that. At least in the Disney version.
Now, I'm going to give you what I know about Cinderella without seeing the movie. Okay. So what I know about Cinderella is I thought there was a big giant rat that drove a pumpkin with wheels. Uh-huh. And Cinderella's blonde and pretty and has a blue dress. Mm-hmm. And she at least has one stepsister. And I didn't even realize that a stepmother or maybe a biological mother, still don't know. And she goes to meet a prince at like a little they have like a little dance thing. Uh-huh. And she spoke to someone because I know shit's gonna turn ugly at noon. Like midnight? Not noon, yeah. Midnight.
Yeah, she gotta be out of there.
At midnight. So, but I don't know. But this is my whole thing is I don't know like what changes because she's pretty and like she has a dress. Okay, I understand if like some fairy made a dress.
Yeah.
And like she's gonna leave, but she's still hot anyway. So, like, what does it matter if she had a dress? And then she leaves her glass slipper. Or is that Wizard of Oz?
No, that's right. That's right. It's
glass slipper, which I wouldn't want to be walking around in a glass slipper.
Nobody would.
But she runs away to escape the 12 p.m. And then I don't know if she just, like, hitchhiked back to home because then the rat isn't driving the pumpkin.
You're right.
Was it a pumpkin or carriage or just a carriage?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a pumpkin that gets turned into a carriage.
Okay. So then it goes back to a pumpkin at midnight. Uh-huh. So she can't ride in that.
Yep, nope.
And then the big rat goes to a little rat at midnight. And then she's got to walk like through the field with one shoe.
Yeah.
But the shoe doesn't disappear, but does the dress disappear?
Could have.
It's
magic.
I would assume it would.
Yeah.
And then she goes home. And then the prince goes throughout town and says like, hey, bitches, who can fit into this slipper? Like, not even paying any mind of like, hey, you don't actually look like the chick I was dancing with, but like your foot may fit. It's not a very winning
Maybe he's got a foot
solution.
fetish.
He might. He might be a little Tarantino.
Yeah.
So then he goes around town and says, hey, bitches, whose foot's going to fit in this? And then she puts her little tootsies in the glass slipper, and then they get married and float off to Never Never Land.
So you are not wrong.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you just the kind of down low. You guys might know what Cinderella is, or you might be like Mark, and that's totally okay.
I don't do Disney movies.
No, it's okay. It's because I'm a female that I have to. It's like my job to know what Cinderella is.
Gotcha.
Because it gets force-fed down your throat when you're a little kid.
Okay.
And in my case, especially since I was a little kid, because my mom fucking really liked every iteration of Cinderella.
Okay.
Because she related to the character because of abuse.
And that was the only Cinderella I knew. I didn't know that there was alternates or books or anything out there.
Yeah.
At all. That was it.
So you're not wrong. Basically, yes. It's her... Okay, so Cinderella is actually a very wealthy young lady. She comes from, not royalty, but she comes from wealth. Her dad was very wealthy. Her mom died at a very young age. And then he gets married to a very mean stepmother. And this stepmother, this is where the bad stepmom trope comes in, has two daughters. And these daughters treat Cinderella like shit, but it's not until after the dad dies that the stepmom also starts treating her like shit. And so she just basically becomes a slave for these women.
Okay.
So she is just made to cook, clean, do all that shit. And when it comes time for the ball, they're like, you're never going to be able to go. Well, there's several iterations where it's exactly as you say, the fairy godmother comes down, turns everything into, jewels. She gets the dress, she gets everything, blah, blah, blah. But she's got to escape by midnight. Otherwise, all that disappears. Well, in this case, in the Grimm's fairy tale, in the original one, it's birds that give her this gift. And it's after she's out by the cemetery.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that version better.
This is goth as shit.
Okay.
She's out by the cemetery grieving over her dad and visiting his grave, that these birds gift her with like jewels, and they're obviously magical birds.
Sure.
Gift her with jewels and everything like that so she can go to the dance.
They're karma birds.
Yeah. So she goes to the dance and she's able to dance with the prince.
Mm-hmm.
Prince is still an idiot because she does have to still leave at midnight. There's that whole thing. And she, leaves behind her slipper, her glass slipper. And then he goes around to each women in the town and all this. And
says, look, bitches, try on this glass slipper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he gets to the stepmother's house. And the stepmother hides Cinderella, like does not want her, because she has an inkling that there's a possibility that might be
Cinderella.
Yeah, that shoe might belong to her. Anyway, she hides her. The two stepsisters come out, and in the Grimm fairy tale version, one sister chops off her toes so she can fit in the slipper to prove that, look, I am the girl that you danced with. Mm-hmm. But when...
That's a dedication.
Yeah. But then when she starts bleeding, and I quote, the two little doves that are perched near the grave, near her dad's grave, go, roo roo cuckoo, ro roo cuckoo. Blood's in the shoe's too tight. The real bride's waiting another night. So he goes back after he tried to take her and sees that she's just bleeding and spurting out blood. He goes back and he goes, oh, don't you have another daughter? And other daughter basically does the same thing, because the stepmothers told both of them, like, you don't need your feet anymore. Once you're, the princess, you're gonna be weighted on hand and foot. You're not gonna need to use your feet. You're never gonna need to walk again. So that stepsister cuts off her heel. And same thing goes, the birds chant again, and then he's like, well, what the fuck? There's got to be someone else. I know you're hiding someone else. And so, yes, he finally finds Cinderella. They get married, but it gets even darker. Because at the very end, she's sweet. Like, this Cinderella's sweet after all the shit that these girls have done to her. She basically has both of the girls as her bridesmaids, but the doves peck out their fucking eyes.
They peck out whose eyes?
The stepsister's eyes.
Oh, okay.
For doing what they did. Yeah. And blinds them for life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a dark little tale. It's a lot of fun if you actually get the chance to read it. It's a short read. But there's so many different iterations of Cinderella out there. Yeah. So that's why I'm wondering how this is going to be different, because literally the poster shows the lopped off feet with the bleeding slipper.
Yeah, so very much this, and especially after you explained that, there's no mistaking this is a Cinderella movie. Mm-hmm. Although they only, to my recollection, say the name Cinderella once. Ah. And it's said almost... I don't know what Cinderella means, but the way that it's said, it's to Cinderella, but I took it as it was almost like a name for her, like as a maid or something.
Yeah, because her real name is never disclosed to us in the fairy tale.
They do in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And I forget what it is.
I think they ever say what her name is. But basically, Cinderella was the name they gave her because she was always by the cinder ash. Oh. When she would, be cleaning and she was covered in soot.
Okay.
So it's like a derogatory name for her.
So Cinderella's name in this movie is Agnes.
Oh. Well, I would want to be changed to Cinderella if my name was Agnes.
Yes. So Agnes.
That's me, and I'm sorry, all the Agneses out there.
Oh my gosh, is that really her name?
What?
So the actress that plays Agnes, look at her name.
Is that her actual name?
That's her name.
Thea Sophie Locknessie?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's badass.
Yeah. I was like, what? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, she is called Agnes in this movie. So the movie starts out just like kind of how you're saying. Mm-hmm. Front and center, it's not Elvira. It's close to that. What is her name? Maybe it is Elvira.
Elvira?
Yeah, okay. I couldn't remember if it was Elvira or not, or they had. I think their accent puts a little twist on it. Plus, it's in subtitles.
Gotcha.
So yeah, the movie starts out with Elvira, and Elvira's sister.
Is it Rebecca?
No, that's the mom.
Oh,
I
that's
believe.
the mom.
Sorry, guys.
Alma?
I am bad with name. Alma. Yes, Alma. Rebecca is the mom, and it's Alna and Elvira. So those, and then Rebecca is the mom.
Okay, gotcha.
So they start out, and they're going on this trip to meet what you find out is their mom's new husband. And then they get married, and then Agnes, Cinderella, is daughter to the father. So that all checks out. That lines up. So in the very beginning, they get married, and they're having dinner from the wedding, and they're cutting up the cake and being kind of playful with it. And then dad just...
He keels over?
He keels over pretty much, yes. And the weird part, so he keels over, and you know what they do? They just get up, and then they basically leave the room, and they like section off the room, and they just leave it. Just leave it. So that's a running theme throughout the whole movie. Cinderella's like... like, when are we going to have a funeral for my dad?
Oh, my God.
And she's like, when we have the money. So there's multiple scenes where they go into that room, and he's at different levels of, like, decomp.
You gotta be kidding me.
And he's even, like, getting bigger, like, swelling
bloating,
and gases and stuff. Yeah, and then there's maggots on the food and all this stuff. And I think she's, like, says that it's, like, beginning to smell and stuff. So yeah, that's a running.
What the hell?
That's a running thing throughout the movie. That old homeboy's still passed out, laying on the table.
Oh my God!
So after that happens, the mom is going through a bit of like, what am I gonna do? Because like he was rich, and like nobody's gonna want me. She even says like my tits are saggy and something else. And then that's when Elvira, the ugly stepsister, kind of gets brought to the forefront. And they make it known that she's kind of the ugly one, but she's
pretty.
I know the casting in these is, I'm just like thinking to myself, like,
gorgeous.
Cinderella, spot on. She's absolutely gorgeous, like perfect for that role. But the ugly stepsister, she's got these amazing dimples. And I was asking my girlfriend, I'm like, are those real? Like, are those real dimples? Because if so, like, why are you casting somebody that has those, like, perfect dimples for, like, ugly stepsister? So after her dad passes away, a guy comes through town and says, like, we're having an event for the prince is going to pick his bride in, like, 3 moons or something like that, which I didn't even realize means 3 months, because it's like a full moon is basically like once every month. And so Cinderella gets invited, and then the guy's like, who's this? And she says, Elvira. And then he's like, Vaughn. And then she just says, she's my stepsister. So it's Elvira, the stepsister. That's like her last name.
That's funny.
So she's all pumped because she has fantasies of meeting the prince and becoming like the heir to the prince. I mean, not the heir, but the wife of the prince. Then, the heir to the king and all that sort of stuff. So she fantasizes about it. Mom is like jacked too, because she's like, yes, this is my meal ticket. So, but then she starts addressing her like, hey, like if you're going to be doing this, like you're ugly. Like we need to change some things.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she brings in like this cosmetic surgery type guy.
Is this where the lobotomy, what I think is the lobotomy, comes in?
Yes.
Okay.
So this guy comes in and is like, hey, what do you want us to do to make her beautiful? And like her mom says like number 7 from a chart. And it's a nose job.
Oh, fuck me.
So, she's sitting there, and his like servants got like huge tits and stuff, and like not his servant, but his like nurse or whatever.
Nurse, yeah.
And she's all cosmeticed out and stuff. And so they're gonna sculpt her nose. So they take a chisel. Yeah. And conk on the bridge of her nose and breaks her fucking nose.
Fucking
and
God.
The makeup on that is so great because you see it come out and start to bleed on the side. So realistic looking. But yeah, and she just screams in agony. This is after he knocks her braces off. I forgot about that. She had braces.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
that one
God.
I was like, oh no. So yeah, he knocks the braces off and then breaks her nose.
Oh my God.
And then, so after, he breaks it twice. He didn't just do it once. It's twice. And she's like, she did such a great job. And it's so believable, the agony that she's in.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
And it's all quiet and you just hear the...
Oh my God. Okay, so it's not a lobotomy.
No.
I was like, okay, well,
No. And then there's more.
Oh, man.
So after that, she has to wear this like nose cast, and it's the thing that's got the straps in the picture. And so her nose is broke. So that's the first step. But then there's like an etiquette class. And with this etiquette class, there's a teacher and she's like teaching the girls to dance. And then there's going to be like the best ones get to like go to the ball or get a chance to go to the ball. I don't remember which, but so she's going to put them through these classes. And you feel really bad for the ugly stepsister because she's a sweet girl.
Yeah.
You know, and she like gets told like she's not pretty enough. So then she endures all this pain. And then she goes to these classes and they like tell her, like there's this one scene where she's dancing and it's all ballet style dances. And the dance instructor says like, no, you need to go in the back. She was in the front row. So she goes to the row behind and she's like, no, you need to go in back. So she goes to the third row and she basically says like, bitch, you're not listening. Get your ass on the wall. And makes her go all the way to the back.
Oh my God.
And so it's just like humiliating because she goes step by step and the teacher's like, no, you're not even, like, I don't even want you in the front. You need to be in the very back.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
that's
totally
so sad.
like, you know, belittles her and shit.
Damn.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I love about this movie is the progression and the emotion along the whole entire journey of the ugly stepsister. That's what, in my mind, makes this movie so good. So good.
You know, and because, okay, so that seems to be like a recent trope, I would say, where where they're making at least one of the ugly stepsisters sympathetic. Disney did it first.
Okay.
Disney did it with theirs, because again, I'm a girl and I went through all this shit.
Was there a Cinderella too, back from the dead?
There's three.
What?
There's three Cinderellas.
There's
3 Cinderellas.
Are there zombies in it at all?
No.
Damn it. I ain't watching.
So the first movie, you know, is what it is. Second movie gives one of the stepdaughters, Anastasia, a little bit more of like a growth period where she's not actually a bad person. She's just misunderstood and she gets her version of the prince, but not really. He's like a baker and like the stepmother's upset because like you need to be marrying into wealth. And she's like, I don't care. I want to marry for love.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anastasia, throughout the second and third movie, the third movie is a time travel movie actually.
Of course.
It's fucking good though.
What?
Because that's the best out of all the Cinderella movies, the third movie's the best fucking movie in that franchise.
Okay.
It's called A Twist in Time. It's actually really good. But anyway.
This sounds like a Back to Future title.
Yeah, because it's good. Because they do, in a way.
Gosh. Okay, all right.
But like Anastasia is like a really sympathetic character, even more so in the third movie because she's like coming to grips with this is not my future. Whatever the stepmother did to make me have the prince, that's not where I'm supposed to be. This is not my life. I stole this from my sister.
Yeah.
So like the ugly stepsister being like a sympathetic character happens a lot. And I'm glad to see that it's continued.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So we're at the part where she's doing the classes, but I want to rewind.
Yeah.
Because this movie gave me an insanely uncomfortable feeling.
Oh.
So what the uncomfortable feeling is so this movie, they set it up to where I guess Elvira is 14 to 17 maybe.
I was gonna say she looks really young.
14 to like 16 is what I think they're kind of setting the age up for, because she has a younger sister that has not had her period yet, and they bring that up.
Oh.
So what they did though is, so they, like the movie's all that, and it's progressing along, and right around the part where she's really starting to feel ugly, and she's had the nose job, and she's still wearing the cast on her face, and now they've started to tell her, like, because she's trying on these dresses, that she's too fat. And there's a scene where I think she's just alone in her room, and basically, make a long story short, naked, tits, just out of nowhere. And I'm like, what? Because she's very, very pretty.
Yeah.
And she's not fat.
Yeah.
She's insanely attractive. Look at the actress's,
she's really
stuff.
pretty.
Yeah. But I'm like, oh, that's weird. Like, throwing me for a twist.
Yeah.
What the? Yeah, it was weird. I didn't like how it sat with me. I was like, that's one of the times when I'm not going to jump up and shout, titties!
Yeah.
Like, that makes me feel uncomfortable. But yeah, and it's just out of basically nowhere. Like, whew, okay, so
technically she's 24.
Yeah, she's 24. So I'm like, and then I had to stop
context,
and think. Yeah, and I had to think, and I'm like, oh, well, I know she's like probably 20.
A grown ass woman.
Yeah, I'm 43, so it's still weird.
Yeah.
But it was thrown in there. Kudos to them to make me to have that reaction. That's fucking awesome. Kudos to you. That's what movies are about. But that was thrown in there, kind of weird. So she's dealing with her weight now. And she's going to these dance classes, and the head of the dance class, and I don't remember how she goes to this person, but I think it's like her lover. I think that the dance instructor and then this other woman are like lovers, and she meets with her one-on-one, and I don't remember what for. But this, we'll just call her like a psychiatrist, because she's talking to her about her feelings and stuff. We'll just say the psychiatrist is like really pretty and said like, I struggled with how I was. And then the ugly stepsister's like, but you're gorgeous. Like, how did you ever do that? And so the scene cuts away. And then Agnes, the younger sister to Elvira, go like out on a horse ride. And Elvira pulls up the fact that she's got a tapeworm egg. And the psychiatrist said, well, if you're insecure about being fat, then swallow this and you'll get a tapeworm.
Nope.
You'll get a tapeworm, and then you'll be able to eat whatever you want. And so Agnes is like, no, don't do that. Like, that's crazy. And then they kind of get into a spat, and Agnes like takes off on her horse and then just like leaves. And so then she takes it. So she takes the tapeworm egg. So then that kind of sets up, now that she's fully invested on her journey. She's bought in. So she's going to these dance classes, and she is getting thinner. And she's, becoming like better in the class. And she's becoming, pretty, and like her nose kind of heals. And that's where I'll kind of break and go back into the story a little bit. So during this time, Cinderella is brought up occasionally, but the ugly stepsister Elvira is the main front and center star of this movie so far.
Okay.
And you're seeing her progression from shy, I don't want to say sweet because you don't really know about the depth of her personality, but shy, insecure girl, now becoming a little bit more confident, and getting a little bit of pizzazz. So behind the scenes, Cinderella, like I said, isn't brought up that much, but then you find out that Cinderella has a thing for the stable boy that is just brought up briefly.
Oh, okay.
So they actually like share a kiss in a scene, and she says like, I'm going to go to this ball because I need to try and marry the prince. And then he's like, well, like, what about me? And she says like, I'll never love anyone but you, but like, I got to do this because like I'm broke, I guess is what I'm assuming.
Yeah, I need to get my dad buried, okay?
Yeah. So in this time when, Elvira's getting her mojo, it cuts to a scene where Cinderella's banging the stable boy in the stable. And they show a glistening cock. Yes.
Yay!
You have penis. Yes, and it was slimy. It was weird. Yeah, weird. And so it's dark, and they showed her like ass up, but like it's kind of hard to see, and I was like, I don't know if that's male or female, whatever. It's an ass, and then you see him get behind her, and you're like, okay, cool. Now I know what's going on. And then Elvira comes and witnesses it. So the whole point of this is the prince is going to select a virgin. And so then she goes and squeals to mom, and then
Cinderella's a whore.
Yes, and then that's when the stepmom really lays into Cinderella and has her, doing chores all the time and won't let her see this stable boy and blah, 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 all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's not a virgin. Now we kind of come to the second stage in her progression. So the cosmetic guy comes again.
Oh, fuck.
And then now they're going to improve upon her nose. He looks at it and the nose is good. It looks great. Now he's going to do eyelashes.
Oh, my God. No.
So they're not going to glue them on.
No.
So she's in a scene on a chair, and then the doctor's there, and then the nurse comes around again, huge tits. And I say that because he says, oh, she's got nice tits. Like, you want something like that? Yeah. And then she has a white eye. So one white eye. And then he grabs the thread and the needle, and you're thinking, like, did he jab that bitch's eye, and that's why it's white or whatever? So then he proceeds to thread through the eye, eyelids on, and threads them on. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Pretty terrible.
That's how he gets the eyelash. Oh
yep.
my
And then, of course, it's agonizing for her. So that kind of gets done, and that's through. And then another guy shows up with her dress. And now she's got like a dress that's worthy of going to the ball. Yeah, I'm going to just take a second to pause there because I had some notes written down. So when the ugly stepsister is first doing the dance classes, I wrote like, I hate the dance class scene because it made me feel so bad for her because she was really trying, and she's like, daydreaming about this. And she actually runs into the prince. They're out in the woods and he's peeing, but he's peeing like how I always want to at a urinal. And what I mean by this, I've always wanted to do this.
Tell me what this
always wanted to do this. So he's out in the woods and he has his pants like around his ankles, almost around his like shins. So he's got bare ass just hanging out and he's peeing, and she sees him, and they like make a joke or whatever because she's ugly and has the cast on and all that. But what I mean by that is I've always wanted to be at a urinal and just drop my pants to my ankles and just have my whole ass
as a woman
just hanging out there.
As a woman, I just would assume that's what y'all do.
No.
Etiquette wise, you just whip it out.
Yeah, you just pull the trouser snake out and then release it.
Okay.
You
shake it off a little.
Well, yeah. You should
hope so.
Yeah. You bang it against the sides. No, I'm just joking. That's so gross. Oh, I couldn't even imagine touching the tip of my dick to the side of a urinal. Oh, that'd be terrible. Ew.
You guys wipe though, right?
Well, like, what are we talking about?
Like you use toilet paper.
Well, so
you wipe the tip of the dick.
So here's. So I didn't know this was gonna break into anatomy.
I didn't know this either.
So I am particular about things. If you learn to know me, I am particular about things.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'm particular about is if my hand has sticky stuff on it, drives me fucking nuts. I'm a compulsive hand washer.
Actually, you should wash your hands.
Yes, this is different, but this is something that drives me nuts. So like having a kid, like Minnie, she would come and her hands would be sticky, and I'm like, I don't want to touch your hands.
Yeah.
Like, my hand's getting sticky. I'm so particular about. One of the things that I hate, and I don't want to put him out. I had children over to my house.
Yeah.
And one of those children is notorious for pissing on the seat. And that drives me nuts. So, being a guy, as an adult guy, yes, little kids or whatever, blah, blah, blah. As an adult, there are times, and yes, this happens to more men out there, please tell me you got my back. So there's times when you're getting ready to pee and you're like, yep, we're good to go. And then all of a sudden your piss takes a right hand or a left hand turn. And you're like, what the fuck? No, go straight. Like, I don't know whether it's the dick slit that gets little gummies stuck together and it causes the stream to hard left or hard right, but it happens. it happens, and it's super annoying.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so, like, I learned that early on. So I just said, well, hey, we're just going to nip this. So, like, whenever there's a chance to sit and then there's toilet paper, I'm sitting because there's no backsplash. There's no hard right turns. We're all good. I hate it. I think it's gross. I'm not a fan of standing up and peeing.
See,
and then you can take toilet paper and you can blot that fucker. You don't have to shake it. You don't, because even if you shake it, you're still going to probably get a little remnants in the chones. And then that's no fun. So you got to blot it, blot it a little bit. So sitting down is the way to go. I don't care. Like, yes, if I'm outside, I got piss on a tree.
Yeah, you're going to go do it.
But if I have the option, I will sit down every time because, well, I just am in the habit now. But it's like, it's the proper thing to do because the last thing I want to do is be at someone's house and my shit takes a hard right hand turn and now I'm like, got to ask for a bop or something. Yes. Or figure out a way to clean this bitch up so that they don't notice, or anything. So, men out there, you got to sit. I don't care. It doesn't make you less manly. If you want to fight me for that, you stand up, peers. I will take you all on. Fuck you. I don't care. So, yes, no hard right turns, no hard left turns.
I love
straight ahead.
This is so important because I got a son and I don't know how to teach that kid how to play potty train.
It's so much easier too because, like, trust me. Once he's standing up and peeing, you will find piss everywhere.
I believe it.
Everywhere. And it's going to drive you nuts because you're like, I'm not sitting in that. Like, come on, man. And then you got to, like, get the bleach and clean it out. And then, it's a whole thing. No.
My face hurts so
It's a whole thing. So I got on that tangent because I wanted to drop trowel at a urinal and let my bare ass just hang in the wind and just see how people look when they come in my fucking butts. I got a nice butt, though. I'll give myself that. Just hanging out in the wind. So there's my 5-minute tangent on how men should pee. And when you're getting older a little bit, your bladder ain't as quick to cut it off. So doing the dot and that helps out. You may have to go for a second round. If you're getting a little drippage, you gotta blot it up. There we go. Any questions?
No, I'm glad I know this now.
And that boy I've yelled at so many times in my house, freaking, you pissed all over the seat. No, and it's never, oh, you want to bet?
What's this shit?
What is this? Yeah, you got to show them. You got to show them their work. Okay, so back on.
That's good.
Back on. That was way longer than I would have never.
All in, Lucas.
I would have never guessed that we would have got into that tirade.
That's so good. Oh my God.
Okay, so she meets him, but it's very briefly, and they mock her and shit. So I'm going to kind of go over some of my notes because I just was going through. There's a scene. You have to see this. I fucking loved it. It made me laugh so hard, but I think it's only me that's going to laugh about it. So during the dance class, there's a little harp being played, and it's a quick second. It's this little boy that has a harp, and his hair is long, but it's combed over here, and then has a drooping curly mullet on the side. And I go, his hair. And I started laughing for 5 minutes. I couldn't stop. And I went back and rewound it because she didn't even see it. And then she saw it. She's like, oh my God, it does look ridiculous. But any of you out there, watch this movie and pause it for the little boy that's playing the harp. He's got a hard part with a curly mullet in the back. It's fucking hilarious. And he's just strumming away beautifully on the harp.
Looking like shit.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I put it made me laugh so hard. And then I even have the Prince pees how I want to at a urinal. So that's my notes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So she's got the tapeworm. And the other thing I love about her is she's kind of like my daughter. I call Elvira the snacks queen. So she's got snackies hidden all over the place. So she pulls a drawer out with her foot and there's like a cinnamon roll and she's like, don't mind if I do. And starts munching on this because she's got the tapeworm. So she's like eating. And then she brings like a charcuterie board up the steps while her mom's banging some dude and she sits on the steps and is like eating meat and cheese.
Wow.
It's so great. I fucking love that part. And then I have to talk about this part because, another beautiful part.
Okay.
Somewhere in this movie, and I don't remember where, but I have to talk about it. It's where she's more beautiful because she's starting to gain confidence and she's having Cinderella like wait on her. And there's a scene where she's reading a book and she's in a bathtub and Cinderella is feeding her spaghetti. And I was like, oh, that's Gummo. That's fucking Gummo. That's one of my favorite scenes in any movie ever.
Oh my
fucking Gummo.
God.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course I know.
Where he's eating in the bathtub. I had to show Crystal. I was like, oh my God, that scene is for this. It has to be for that.
That's so funny.
She's feeding her spaghetti in the bathtub. I'm like, that's fucking Gummo. Oh my God. I was like, yes, this movie just scores it for me. You're feeding her spaghetti in the bathtub. I even wrote down spaghetti. You're feeding her spaghetti in the bathtub.
That's awesome.
Oh, I was fucking, I loved that. I'm like, there's no way you just accidentally spilled onto that and not do like an homage to Gummo.
You had to have. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy. So after I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm fully invested in this movie. So things go on and I'm going to kind of jump ahead a little bit. So she the buildup is she's got her dress now. She's getting ready to go to the dance. And so she shows up at the dance. And the one thing I wrote is she's in a carriage and there's this like dark scene and the cottage is moving along over the scene and it's smaller. And I love how they have the Karate Kid music when the carriage is going. It's this like flute, like wooden flute. And it reminds me of like the Karate Kid or some Japanese martial arts movie.
Wow.
But yeah, the Karate Kid music in it was pretty fucking baller. Here's my other note. I like to say I'd like to taste her oyster when I see a rando and I'm with the boys.
What?
So she comes in and they have this part where they kind of like the mom and child like prance around and show themselves to the prince. And the prince boys, one leans over and goes, I'd like to eat her oyster.
Oh my God.
So that's why I said, I also like to say I'd like to eat her oyster to random bitches when I'm out with the boys. It's a fun activity I like to do.
Wow.
So, yeah. And like all throughout this movie, so now we're kind of, her character is now turned. You know, she's become Sue now. Yeah, so she's become ordering Cinderella around. She's got her confidence, and it's more of a, I don't want to say narcissistic, but like she's just becoming more diva and a bitch, you know, because now she thinks her shit don't stink and she forgets where she came from. So you're now having this character that you root for and feel bad for in the beginning. Now you're like, oh, she's a bitch. Like, I don't want her to win. You know, she's now at the dance and she's, you know, lined up with all these other women. It's like a total fucking meat market. Yeah. And this guy just comes around and just based off looks, it's total Tinder type shit, like picks her out. And so she gets the dance. So she's like, oh my gosh, you know, like my dreams are coming true. Like I get to dance. And then they start doing this weird dance. And then everyone else, like all the leftovers pair up like a senior prom dance or something. And they all pair up and they start dancing. And then Cinderella walks in and she's in the blue dress and the lights are glowing behind her and she's got a veil on. So you don't really know who it is. And then the prince is like, whoa, like, what is this? You know, like the doors literally opened up. And so he goes over to her and she says, I'm sorry, I'm late. And he asks her to dance. And so now the ugly stepsister's like, you bitch.
Yeah.
Like everything was within my grasp and you just swiped it all away. And so then they dance. And then the stepmom is like, don't worry about her. There's, you know, plenty of other people. And you know, they try getting someone else to dance with her and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm going to back it up a little bit. When she takes the tapeworm and starts eating the snacks.
Oh, no.
In the movie, they incorporate a rumbling of her belly. And it's very significant. It's very prominent. Like, you know that it's there because you're hearing it and she's eating and snacking. And it just progressively starts to get worse. So during this part, she's really feeling it. You know, like she's now been turned down. Now she's got to try and sort through all these leftover dudes to like see if she even wants one, or is she giving up on the prince altogether? She's really struggling with that. And she's struggling with the tapeworm is really talking back to her. It's like
it's talking to her.
Yeah. I got that line from Rob Zombie's Halloween. When the big dude's in the toilet, he's, I got a burrito talking back at me. It'll be a minute.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and then he gets the door kicked into the stall and gets killed.
Yeah.
I just remember it's when he breaks out because he has slippies. Kind of like yours.
Slippies?
And his dirty feet are in it. And that's what you see under the stall.
That's funny.
So, anyway, she kind of breaks away because now she's being physically sick. She's like, you don't know what she's going to do. She's going to shit herself, which is what I was hoping for on the dance floor. That'd have been awesome.
All right.
Yeah, so she breaks away and then she throws up eggs. She throws up eggs onto this like, I don't know, it's like carpet or material or something. Yeah, she's throwing up eggs.
What?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, she's not having a good day. I'll stop there to kind of pull in another thing. So once through her progression and all throughout this movie, I kept saying, I get Mad Maxine vibes off this chick.
Ooh, yeah. She's the star.
She reminds me of Maxine in so many ways. Very pretty eyes. The attitude. I just kept getting, in my head, I just like kept getting Maxine vibes off her. Now she's got big problems because now she's throwing up eggs. And so basically, this is the time when Cinderella has to run out. And so she runs out and leaves her slipper behind. So it ends, you know, the dance ends and they're back home. And mom is like banging one of the dudes that Elvira danced with. Yeah, mom's banging dudes all throughout this.
Damn.
There's another dude where she's like going down on this guy. And Agnes is stealing money. She just like, yeah, there's no closed doors in this house. Yeah, mom's banging quite a few dudes in this movie.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you do get more titties, not mom's, but Elvira's again, I think. And then she sits down and her stomach kind of like, you know, rolls, but even if you're skinny and you
that happens.
Yeah, and there's like during the fat part, I was like, hey, my stomach looks like that. That's not cool.
Oh my God.
But yeah, so mom's just a big old slut. So
you big old slut.
Yeah, Agnes, and this is a key part. During a lot of this, going up to at some point the dance, Agnes, the younger sister, has her period. And Crystal didn't know why. And I am not sure, but I have an explanation that I'll tell you in a little bit. But that's key. So her younger sister, Agnes, the evil stepsister's younger sister, Agnes is kind of growing up, so to speak, you know, had her first period. And it's in the movie, so it does, you know, have significance. So they've now come back. And, you know, she's really feeling it because she feels like shit. And now this dude left her and he's looking for the owner of this slipper. So then she goes and she decides that it's going to be a good idea because she has the other slipper, puts it up to her foot, and her big ass foot ain't fitting in that slipper. So she decides that it's a good idea
to cut it off,
to chop her toes off. She is so bent out of shape and so pushed over the edge that she has in her mind no choice but to still win, you know, the man of her dreams over. So she gets up on a stool.
Oh my fucking
And she
God.
starts. I thought she was gonna 1, 2, 3 it, and I'm just like, bitch, you're just making this agonizing for yourself.
Yeah.
So she lines it up, and then like waits a second, and they put suspense into it, and then bam, she does it fully. They're hanging.
Oh,
which makes it worse.
Fuck.
They're hanging, and they even zoom in across the camera to show the blood still flowing in each toe.
God.
And then she's losing it. Agnes comes up and sees it, and it's like, what the fuck? You know, like, I'm out of here. And then Mom coddles her and says, you did the wrong foot. He has the other slipper. So she's like, here, take some of this codeine, because we're going to do your other foot.
Oh my God.
So Mama lops off her other toes. Mom lops off her other toes. So now...
You did the wrong foot.
Yes.
Fuck?
Yes. So...
Well, at least you're going to be walking funny for the next couple of years.
Yeah. So, Mom lops off
Even
the foot.
it out.
So now we get... Elvira's now woken up. She's in horrible shape. Agnes comes in to check on her, and she's just looks like shit. And she's now like really starting to feel the effects of the tapeworm. Mm-hmm. And so, I forgot. Sorry, there's a little note. When she initially took the tapeworm, she justified it as like, I'm going to do the tapeworm. It's going to get me skinny, and then I'll just take the antidote. So Agnes comes in and says like, dude, it's time for you to take the antidote. Like, this is insane. Mm-hmm. So she gets her to take the antidote. So she puts a... I have so many little inside things. No, she puts a little bowl of milk. And I told Crystal, it's cat's milk. And why I say that is, so I mentioned at Karma, I have incense. I had Blake's kids over, and one of his daughters, when we lit an incense, she goes, that smells like cat's milk. What the fuck is cat's milk?
Cat's milk.
So, yeah,
That's good.
It's cat's milk. Everything milk is cat's milk from now on for me. So she puts this little bowl of like cat's milk on the floor, and she's over like the bed or something. She's bent over something. And then she starts to throw up. Like, she's now really throwing up. And I kudos to the director and the actress, because the first, like, throw-ups, like, legit, I think she threw up. Mm-hmm. I think she was throwing up on camera. Because it like, expels. Every actor that has throw-up has the oatmeal in their mouth already, and then they just spit it out. Yeah. This did not look like that. I will not be shocked if she actually made herself throw up. It was legit. God. So then now you see the tapeworm starting to come out. So Agnes is like, grabs it and starts stepping back and pulling the tapeworm out. And she's doing, like a taffy pull.
Like a magician thing?
And she's pulling it, and it gets to a point where it's like stuck.
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, and she's like, ugh, like tugging on it, and it's not coming. Keeps tugging, and then it finally comes, and it comes in like big slimy chunks. It's big. Like the worm is like that big. Now it's big. Now it's coming out, and now she's throwing it up, and it's coming out.
Oh my
and then she's now pulling it all, and now it's finally all slimily come out. And then they show an overview, and it's moving.
Oh,
and it's moving and it's slimy. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Agnes steps on it to kill it. So now she's got both sets of toes lopped off, had this worm finally out of her, which is maybe the only bit of relief she's ever felt.
Oh my God, right?
And Agnes, I think, just leaves. During this time, it's known that the prince is looking for the holder of the slipper. Mm-hmm. She hears this, Elvira hears this, and is now trying to get to the prince, because she knows Cinderella is going to wear it. So she's trying to either get to Cinderella or get to the prince. So she's crawling. She starts crawling down the stairs, rolls, smacks her face on the edge, chips her tooth, breaks her nose. No. She's laying there, and her nose is now crooked. Chipped tooth. I think she's got a fat lip. She looks terrible. She's laying there upside down, looking at the prince, finding out that it's Cinderella. So she's so close, but yet so far. And she's a witness to all of it. The prince finally finding out that the mystery woman was Cinderella. And so then, they go off together. The next scene that you see after that is Agnes. So Agnes, the younger sister, is now dressing Elvira and wrapping her feet and, getting her clothed and all that. And then one of my favorite scenes is they start to make their way out of the house and they've got to walk down the stairs. She wheelbarrows her. You ever play that? Where you're on your hands and someone holds your feet? She's doing the wheelbarrow as they go down the stairs.
No.
Agnes loads her up on the horse and is like, we need to get out of here. Like, you've lost your marbles. Like, this place is bad for you. We need to get out of here. And she gets her on the horse and then they ride off. And then that's the end.
Whoa.
So one of the things I'm going to point out.
Did they ever get that poor dad buried?
No.
No.
He's still in there.
No.
Yep. So one of the reasons why I loved this movie is because the journey of emotion that you take with the ugly stepsister goes from you liking her and really feeling bad for her to not liking her and then being like, yeah, you don't deserve the prince, to then at the end, like feeling sorry for her that she was taken advantage of and manipulated. And then the sweetness of Agnes then becoming, the big sister, even though she's a little sister, and then taking care of her sister. And that takes me back to, because Crystal asked me, why did they even say anything about her having her period? And so I immediately said, because I think it signifies maturity.
Yeah.
So that she was the younger stepsister, but had her period to signify that she was maturing. And then she knew that she had to be the parent to take care of her sister. So she took care of her, protected her, and then ultimately is the one that got her out of there. So that's my opinion.
I agree with
the period signified maturity. So hopefully I'm right on that. To me, it makes sense.
That makes sense.
But then, it ends. And it ends abruptly. You don't really know it's ending. I think there's like some crows or stuff in it. But that brings us to the end of the movie.
Apparently there's an end scene. Like a special, like at
is there?
the very, very end.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't hang out to see it.
That was in the trivia and that was it. And I'm like,
I never
what's
do that. So this movie isn't original because obviously it's the story of Cinderella. But for what it is, within that scope, it's about as original as you can be.
Yeah.
The only thing is it's a little dry at parts and a little bit slow going. Like the body horror is stretched out enough that it's not really like it's kind of a horror movie.
Yeah.
But it's not full on horror movie. I mean, it has the guy decomping in the dining room.
Yeah.
And yes, the body horror with the eyes and the nose and the feet. But it's not close together and too much that it's really like a full on horror movie. I would grade this as an 8. Maybe even an 8.5, but I'll stick with 8. I think this will probably be one of the top 5 movies for this year.
Okay.
I do.
I like that. Where do you rate it at with the substance?
So I said substance is a 9. This is an 8. Yeah. Okay. And that's what I'm basing it off of.
I just wasn't sure, like, maybe I need to reword that. Where would you rate it on the body horror scale? Substance versus this.
So, I mean, this is below it. I think the body horror stuff with the substance was just way cooler, especially how the mirror scene, we both were like, oh, shit. Like, it really takes off. I really dug that. It's not the substance. It's not as good, but it definitely can be. It's a step below it.
I guess, like...
step below it.
I guess maybe... Okay, for a normie going into this, I guess, that's more where I want to be at. For a normie going into this on the body horror scale, is this movie going to be about subpar with the substance as far as the gore, or is it going to be more of we're going nasty street trash with this?
No, it would be par. It would be par for it. It's not, like I said, it's not...
Like in between? Like, is it...
in between. It's not over the top. It does have some shock factor and make you a little squeamish. But there's not enough scenes of that, in my opinion, to really say that it's anything over the top. I mean, it's a body horror Cinderella at that. It's not anything that's over the top. I think for people that are not used to body horror, it'll get them a little bit.
Yeah.
It'll definitely get them, and I think that's kind of the point.
Dude, it's already getting me with the whole... I know what's going to happen. I've read the fairy tale, but like, you know me with digit trauma. Fuck. Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look away for that. Anything else? Fine.
You got to see him hanging off.
No, I don't. I don't think I do, Mark. I don't think I do.
Yeah. And it's just like...
Ugh.
Yeah, it's just... you need a good nub. There needs to be some good nubs in a movie.
Good nubs.
Good nubs.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, I will definitely have to give it a watch. Probably look away at the foot chopping scene. I can't with that shit.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's enough of a story for story people. You'll like it. It's enough body horror for body horror people to like it. It's not over the top. It's not too much body horror. It's not too much story. It's a good mix of both. That's
cool. And it's kind of neat that the director themselves said that body horror is gore with meaning.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
That was very sweet. And
it's very much, like you were telling me some of the director's other movies. It is that. It is, like young women struggling with like what they view themselves and what they think society views them and what's attractive and what's not attractive. And so much of this movie doesn't give a shit about what you are on the inside. It's all everything. Everything's superficial. It's what you're wearing. It's what you look like. It's everything is outward. And nothing is inward. So yeah, it's very much that type of movie.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, damn. We should check it out. Or you all should check it out. I should check it out. But you guys need to check it out too. You all should check it out. So yes, an 8. That's one notch above my standard to own it. So definitely own this movie. I know I will. It's a good one. Awesome. Sweet. Well, with that being said, look out for each other and good night, cellar dwellers. Bye bye.